Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Non-Classics. This is episode number 1850 and Doubleshot number 1746. Now, this one was discussing a trade and the issues that were going to be collecting but today was canceled. This will be the first of three videos I'm going to do this for. The other two you'll find out in future videos. Alright. The trade to talk about is Damage Volume 2 Scorched Earth. Collecting issues 7 to 12 of this ongoing series. Well, this is of course the second volume of Damage because the first volume, I should point out this is actually the second volume for Damage because the original volume had nothing to do with his character at all. The original one was the godson of Al Pritt. Atom Smasher. That was original Damage. This one has nothing to do with him at all. Yeah, just a character who is simply put Hulk, the ripoff of the Hulk. And since I've discussed it before, now also this book had a humongous publication problem. And what was the publication problem? The fact that most of this entire series, throughout the time it was coming out, was released the same week as Weapon H. Yes. As far as I can tell, no explained reason for this at all. And heck, two very similar storylines happening in two different series. This book is written by Robert Venditti. Now, Tony S. Daniel does the cover artwork, but not the interior. Nope. That's Aaron Lepsey does the interior artwork with Dugan Knives and Tom Durek. And also, we have to have this in the book. 2-page spreads on the side. Yep. You mostly have Damage going crazy. Yep. And then he meets up with the Unknown Soldier. Yes, the Unknown Soldier. Which I believe this was the first time he'd been seen since the Suicide Squad run wrapped up. When it was not, no, I'm glad. I think it was Matt Knott who did it. Yes, I believe it was. Now, as for why in the world did he pop in this book, I don't have any idea why. It seemed like it had been a while since the Unknown Soldier was seen. Actually, no. His last known physical appearance was actually in Justly United number 15. Which I believe was the second to last issue of that series. That was his last appearance. That was back in 2016. Well, actually, it came out in 2015. That's when this issue came out. Damage came out in August 2018. So this is his first appearance in 3 years. Why in the world did it take him so long to make an appearance? I don't know. So he's here basically because he's a former government agent. So he deals with stuff here. He's only here just for 2 issues, and that's it for Unknown Soldier. Yep. Now the first story is called Doing Damage, and of course called Scorched Earth. By the way, this Colonel woman, she doesn't really appear outside of this book. Nope. Eventually I get away, and of course they try to figure out a way to take down the government organization. And of course then he runs, at the end of one issue, he runs to the Justice League. Where it's for people who don't see the main, well, in the case, main Justice League book at this point in time, only like one person appears in that book for this lineup. We have Vixen, Guy Gardner, Green Arrow, and the Flash. Now here's the weird thing. Why these 4 people? I don't know. Guy Gardner at this point in time, I believe he was just still, if I remember correctly, I think they had just wrapped up Hal Jordan and Green Lantern for this period of time, so they just had to feature him here. Vixen, I don't think he ever features in Justice League America. And the whole point of these issues is basically just to bring him back to, and then of course you run the Superman again. Yep. Who's wearing a different costume now. And also, He's not the only one that pops up here, too. Oh, no. Yeah, basically all it is just take down damage. Also, for some reason, whoever Oris draws him, it looks like Superman has lost some buff. Usually he's like more beefier than this. Not sure why. And then for some strange reason, we actually have, of all people, Deadman show up in this book. Yes, freaking Deadman. And the Batman. All to stop damage, basically. Trying to take him down, of course. Then he's left in the custody of the Justice League. Of course, they have cameos by Firestorm and Miss Martian at the Hall of Justice. Yep. This is not a bad book, per se. I'm going to give this book roughly I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Now, I'm going to discuss also, now, from what I've read, I looked at some online. Was there a Volume 3? There actually was going to be one. It was going to be called Volume 3 Monstrous. Excuse me. For some reason, the book was only containing issues 13 and 16, and I believe the annual was going to be there too, which, yes, series had an annual, 1. For some reason, this book was not released for some reason. From what I've read, it was canceled. Probably due to low pre-order sales. Now, not the first series come across DC in the last few years where they didn't collect the entire series in trade. The last I came across that this was Cyborg. No, seriously, Cyborg was the last one I did this for. Now, of course, everybody does the annual too. Mostly this is just basically the best way to describe this annual. It takes place for issues 7 and 8. 8 and 9. Where just basically you have damage, just run to people. Talk about a voice, fighting random monsters, and that's it. In the case of the final 4 issues of the series, which, if you're curious though, what's the name of this last story arc, it is called Has His Delivery. Yeah, where you have damage at just like headquarters, like let me out, and of course he wakes up, and then he's confronted by Batman. Yep, who, like Superman, is back in the black trunks. Yes, Superman I think had a good reason. Batman really didn't have reason at all. But he's wearing, and of course you have various Justice Leaguers for this issue. You have Hawkman, Plastic Man. Basically, everybody who's on the Justice League, main foundation, like the reserves. And then we have meet briefly Miss Martian. Miss Martian, big fan. Yeah, apparently she's probably, looks like she's smiling at that. Yeah, in fact, she had Miss Martian, who is in fact a white Martian. Yep. Of course, she's out trying to tell jokes with Batman, who's very super serious. And then he rides on the Bat Carrier. Yeah, seriously. We have a Bat Carrier. Just cuz. And then we ship out damage right out the frickin' window. Of course, he's fighting Batman too. And basically, damage dropped up on Monster Island. Yep. That's kind of where he dropped up to, and he's kind of here for the rest of the series. Just closing some files here. Yeah, basically that's where he goes. He goes to DC's version of Monster Island and fights monsters for the rest of the series. He also fights a version of, looks like to be King Kong, who's like golden for some reason. Yeah, fights him in a version of Fin Fang Foom. No, seriously. And then he runs into Congo Bill. Yes, I believe this may have been the first time he appeared post Flashpoint. Yes, I believe so, because I can't think of how. Oh, yes. I was correct. Well, in the case of Congo Bill himself, yeah, this was his first appearance, which is interesting to say the least. They say he was first mentioned back in the second volume of The Shade, the James Roberts book, which was really good, by the way. I highly recommend checking it out. It's him and Cully Hammer, which of course is really good. hmm Yeah, they mentioned Congarilla there, and here is his debut. Yeah, Congo Bill. I mean, first mentioned back in I think it was like 2011. Yeah, first brought up in October 2011. First time it was mentioned. Did not make a physical appearance until almost 8 years later. Yes. And Congo Bill, because, well, that's what Golden Gorilla is. I forgot, it was Congo Bill. So he basically chats in for a while. This basically Congo Bill's hanging out at this monster island. And then we have him transform into Congo Bill. Oh, Congo Gorilla, excuse me. Yep. And he's kind of here for the remainder of the series. Yeah. Monster Island. Yeah, fighting monsters again. Excuse me. You always recognize Congo Bill because he looked. Excuse me. It seems like though Congo Gorilla got a bit of a redesign. For one thing, he looks a bit thinner than he normally does. Yes, and he's bigger. Yeah, it's kind of weird. By the way, Congarilla himself previously appeared back in Justice League International #1. Well, Volume 3 #1. And here he is, 8 years later, he returned up Congarilla for some reason. And mostly you could say this is all about, and of course you have this woman, Edna, oh yeah, Rule of the Monster stuff. And you're like, really? This is what they do for the final few years of the series? Have them fight random monsters for like the remainder of the series? That's kind of what he does. Just fight monsters. Fights a monster tamer. And after he defeats them all, team up with Congarilla. Fights them off. Fights them monster, gets off the island. And that's it for Damage. Yep, that's the final issue for you. His next action appearance would be in, get this will kind of shock you. He would not appear again for 2 years. Yeah, next time Damage will appear would be in Generation Shattered #1. 2 years later. These are okay issues per se. I love the artwork. I would say by far the most shocking thing about this issues is the post-Flash appearance of Congo Bill. And the return of Congarilla, first time since the first issue of Justice League International. But this is more of a prop appearance of the character. Yep. Final thoughts on this run. It's a good series. It is quite surprising that it didn't feel as though you finished reading the last issue. It didn't feel as though that they wrapped up the series. It felt like though it just probably ended the way it did. And he said he wanted a cure. Never happened. It's like apparently Venditti decided, oh, let's not have Batman basically help him have a cure. Let's just double Monster Island for some reason. And have Congo Bill deal with it. Yes. Now, I have heard possibly the series canceled due to low sales. Yep, low sales. But is it overall a bad series? Not really, no. It's just that the problem was, like I said, released the same week as Weapon 8. Except for like one issue. I think it was one issue it skipped. And it did last a bit longer than Weapon 8. Weapon 8 lasted for like 12 issues. It lasted for 16 issues. Now, I don't know what was the reason for the cancellation of the trade. Yeah, I have no idea. It could have been a variety of reasons why. But my guess is probably the low pre-order sales. That's probably the reason why. But if you think about it, Damage only got 2 trades. Volume 3 got canceled for no apparent reason. At least Silencer had this entire series in trade. Like, release and trade. Not this series for some reason. Nope, not this one. Don't know why. Also, this makes this the 3rd New Age of Heroes series I have fully reviewed. Because first was Hawkman, then the Morrow Man, now this one. What comes next? Don't know. Yep. Oh, by the way, I have the very first trade they collect issues from Damage. Yeah, a book pick up Comic-Con, and I decided to get Volume 2 because I wanted to finish the series up. Yep. That's going to be pretty much it for this particular review. Stay tuned tomorrow. I might have a comic corner or two, but nothing really much real big new for the next few days. maybe some on Wednesday, but for the rest of the week, the only day you can hopefully guarantee a video for is Friday. But live this week, not much of anything, unless of course I manage to get back to Super Sentai. Okay, next video. Bye.